Kindly read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live, in that order. So, brethren, even though they have succeeded in desensitizing the people from, the expected human reaction to the glory pictures and videos coming out of many parts of Nigeria, courtesy of the Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram terrorists, ISWAP terrorists, Lakurawa terrorists, and of course, the uniformed ones. In the last 24 hours, these terrorists have been they've been having field day, meaning they have been wreaking havoc with nobody challenging them. From Borno State to Taraba, from Taraba to Plateau, and from Plateau, right, even to Enugu. All across the place, we are having these Fulani terrorists increasing their tempo of attacks, vicious attacks, while those in authority continue to advise or admonish the people to accommodate them, be accommodating. You see, the fight against terrorism in Nigeria, right, cannot be won when those who were supposed to rein them in are those who are sponsoring them, because in the long run, somehow these evil people believes that it also gives them power, a sort of power that I can't really define, where your citizens are being slaughtered by terrorists that you are proud to tell the world that you are rehabilitating. So, in Borno State, where it is reported that in a fish market, a suicide bomber, a female suicide bomber, walked straight into a fish market, a very busy fish market outside Maduguri, and then detonated an explosive, right, which is believed to be from a suicide vest. The eyewitness account said over 24 people died instantly. But the media have been juggling the figures as usual, because, when the media tells you 10 people died, not that they really care about those who die, right? It is their own style and ways of reducing, sort of like angry reactions from the people, maybe, or maybe not. It's been like that, their practice for a while. So dishonest. So the people who are murdered, killed by terrorists that are being pardoned, being funded, and being reintegrated into the supposed society, and part of them are being reintegrated into the army as well. How do you win such war? It is like somebody diagnosing you of malaria when you are actually suffering from something more chronic, something more, deadlier. And they are so confident that their diagnosis will heal you. That's exactly what the criminals in Nigeria, the APC, Egbekegbe, Tifnumbu and his gang, that's what they are doing. The killings of Nigerians in this part of Nigeria is not because of communal clashes or farmer-saders clashes. It is a coordinated terrorist campaign that is more or less called ethnic cleansing or the tribal organized genocide. This is what it is. But the government of Nigeria wants the people to believe that, the reason why some people have the audacity or the right to kill with impunity, like the Fulanis are doing, was because the locals were clashing with them. So 24 people died. And this is coming from, let's say this is coming like 4 days, or maybe 5 days after Zulum, their governor in Borno State, was on their TV in Nigeria, and he bragged of how many repentant terrorists he personally had received in Borno State in the last 5 years. He was so proud of himself. He said, over 300,000 terrorists have repented in Borno State, but guess what? the repentant terrorists have not been of any help to the authority that decided to forgive them because they owed a Quran and said they won't do it again. The whole thing is so bizarre, like it's so weird enough that any discerning mind can see through and say, well, Baba, these guys are just preparing all of us for our own death. Just like, wait for your turn. And for smart ones who knows that if people have put in place a system to eliminate and kill their own citizens, at that point, you do not continue to rely on the words of their mouth. They cannot be relied upon. So your destiny will be in your own hands at the point, even though it should have been from yesterday. In Kano State, another explosion happened and 5 people got killed. All of this in the last 24 hours or 24 in Borno, with unknown number of people injured right now. 5 people killed in Kano State. The same MO, explosion, bomb explosion, right? While that was going on, these terrorists, Fulani terrorists, they were busy in Taraba. What were they doing? Same attacks. Chased the people away, set their homes ablaze, 62 houses burned down. For what? Fulanis traveled from wherever they came from, down to Nigeria, straight to Taraba, and then they want land, right? 1 person got killed there, right? In Plateau State, Mangu, as well as Bokos, 13 people, majority of them children, last night were slaughtered by this same terrorist, Fulani terrorist. And in all of this, and there is another tragedy, we are travelers, people who said they were traveling to Kaduna for a wedding. They got attacked by the angry youth of this Bokos Mangua in Plateau State. And the entire bus, before help could come for these people, 12 people were slaughtered, killed right there, and then their bus that they are traveling in burned down. This is Nigeria in the last 24 hours. But what are their leaders doing? Oh, they are busy with something else. I'm coming back. This was called earlier today. So they were doing something called ECOWAS Economic Summit or something in Abuja today. There is no single mention of all these killings in the cycle of any of this authority. Not Borno state government, not Taraba state government, not Plateau state government, not the government of Nigeria. Look at them. That's what they were doing today. And then the usual word salad, balderdash, and other nonsense, it would also speak. So they wrote him a speech at that same event. Yeah.
Your presence here signals our shared commitment to shaping a new economic future for our region. We gather at a decisive moment. Today is not about celebrating how far we've come, but forging a new path that leaves behind fragmentation amidst opportunities and moves all towards deeper integration, collective action, and shared prosperity. West Africa is one of the last great frontiers of economic growth. Yet, opportunity alone does not guarantee transformation. Opportunity is not destiny. We must earn it through vision, integration, policy coherence, collaboration, and capital alignment. Intra-regional trade remains under 10%, a challenge you can no longer ignore. The low trade is not due to a failure of will, but a failure of coordination. The global economy will not wait for West Africa to get its act together, nor should we. Rather than competing in isolation or rely on external partners, we must together strengthen our regional values.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Like, I don't understand. Maybe you can help me. I don't understand how any sane person will boldly say he's organizing economic summit or whatever it's called it, when your country is battling insecurity that is so prevalent, it's so obvious. All you could do is to pretend that, it is not happening. If you don't talk about it, you won't amplify it. But the rest of the world is seeing it. Where are those investors who bring that investment? Where is that economy exactly that he's talking about? The same economy that is being attacked by your foreign or whatever, your local partners too. Sponsoring terrorism in such a way that you've made it more or less like you can only manage it. It's never going to end. Since it didn't start from your time. Is that not what they used to say? Oh, it didn't start in my own time. But how do you plan economic prosperity in the midst of insecurity that happens almost every hour in that place? And I'm not talking about other criminalities going on. I'm talking about the targeted, coordinated attacks, which is targeted attacks. That is terror, sort of like terror inclined. How do you plan progress in such, if you are not just deceiving yourself? And that's what Tinubu and his gang are doing. But there is a truth that we have to bring back to fore. Even though they would want us to be quiet, shut up, and possibly die in silence. In the face of this existential threat, a lot of us who have come to the conclusion that Nigeria can be helped, right? We have our reasons and we have our evidence. There are those who have been inside, whose intention is indeed to possibly fix this madness, but they faced serious, more harder or stronger obstacle coming from the people who are supposed to keep all of us safe. And their own assessment is that Nigeria is done for. It's just a matter of time for the terrorists to overrun the entire country. Maybe some of you don't even understand what that means, right? You probably should take your time and study what happened in Afghanistan, the Taliban, especially in the last 4 years or so, like especially. And then you take a look at all the available information that some of you possibly just look at and just ignore. In Nigeria, they realized that is it possible for them to overrun Nigeria? And what does overrunning Nigeria mean? Most of the supposed security infrastructures in northern part of Nigeria have been destroyed by these guys over the years. Barracks have been destroyed, armories have been destroyed, ammunition have been looted, police stations have been destroyed, police posts, military posts. I'm talking about ruin that Nigerian system or Nigerian criminals themselves, I'm talking about your criminal leaders, they have come out to actually classify some part of Nigeria as ungoverned areas. These are areas controlled by the terrorists. While some of our forests in the south have also been occupied, surrounded. Thousands of camps. Our people are being kidnapped and we are paying ransom to these terrorists in the southern part of Nigeria. How long do you think it's going to take? When we've also had evidence of their internal saboteurs, their internal collaborators within the supposed security circle, helping them to navigate the supposed intelligence of Nigerian system. The entire thing stinks. There was somebody who did say, or warn all of us. Remember this man?
It's a spectrum, so you can't rule out something. But the center of gravity is what they should look at. And what is it? I'm saying it on this channel. It is the sponsor of Boko Haram and bandits.
And speaking about the sponsors, when you say the DSS, and they could be listening to you, but so they profile, part of their responsibility is to profile all of these persons before they either vie for elections or before, they are nominated for any of these positions. Doesn't that happen? Don't they get intel and say, look, this and this is what we found, and then we don't think that this should proceed further? Doesn't that happen?
It does. When I worked with the DSS in 2007, because when Yaradua approved the operational order that we did, we now have to work together as a team. He actually forced all of us to sit down together and work together. I was surprised at the tremendous amount of information had by DSS. I was shocked. We in DI, I was in Defense Intelligence Agency, and when they were forced to bring out the files, I was shocked. They have so much information at DSS presently, as I'm talking about what I'm talking about. They have. But you see, if a fish is going to get spoiled, it's going to start getting spoiled from the head. The DSS will not do anything except the Commander-in-Chief's body language shows that this is the direction I want to go. That is where the problem is. The DSS has tremendous information. By the time 2023 is here and somebody take over and wants to undo some of this evil that I've seen in this country, you'll be surprised names that the DSS will bring out. They have the information. There's nothing I'm going to say here that they don't have. The defense headquarters have the solution for the kinetic aspect. They do. I'm not going to come here to advise them. I work with them and they're still there. The Chief of Naval Staff was in the intelligence with me. We were together in Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Vice Admiral Gambo. I know these people are good. They know what to do. It's not that they have problems. It has to do with politics, the sponsors, people that feel that this country should be Islamized.
Assuming but not conceding that, that all of this is the case. So what is the end game? Because I imagine as a strategist, that's what you think about. So these things are happening. What is the end game? So why will this be allowed to fester? For what purpose?
The end game for them, because normally when you want to look at this type of challenges, what you do is that you go through what we call the intelligence circle. Okay? When you do the processing and you do the analysis before dissemination point, you discover that the end game for them is to just turn this country into like a Taliban type of country. And it's a mindset. And anything goes. In other words, 10% casualties, 20% casualties is allowed in trying to achieve the end game of Islamizing this country.
That's for the terrorists, the bandits.
It's not for the terrorists and the bandits, for the sponsors. Because I told you, and I will repeat on this channel, the sponsors of Boko Haram and the bandits are the problems. And defense headquarters, the army headquarters, the naval headquarters, the air force cannot do anything about that. Buhari has to do something about that. The Interpol has the list of those people that are sponsoring Boko Haram. I work with Interpol. They should ask, if they don't know, they should ask. The government of Dubai, they have the list of those people. During the trial of those people that were caught, names were mentioned. They have the list.